Tzuki No Me, Eye of the Moon, by Shigana, Traino. Hear now the second chapter of the Sutra of the Lotus Flower of the Wonderful Dharma. All Buddhas of the past have used expedient means, parables and stories to guide all beings. So too do I. The Dharma is one, yet its forms are many. This is the way of nature. This is the way of the heart. Namo Myoho Renge Kyo, Namo Myoho Renge Kyo. At the base of the moonlit night, Chapter 2 begins. With insight attained, the Master utters these words. Until they attained the profound Dharma which you have never heard before, and became Buddhas, and also because, since they became Buddhas, they have been expounding the Dharma according to the capacities of all living beings in such various ways that the true purpose of their various teachings is difficult to understand. Excerpt from the Lotus Sutra Chapter 2, Hoben Pon. Thus, the teaching carried by the mist drifted deep into the hearts of the disciples. Since I became a Buddha, I have also been expounding various teachings with various stories of previous lives, with various parables, and with various similes. Excerpt from the Lotus Sutra Chapter 2, Hoben Pon. Only the Buddhas attained the highest truth, that is the reality of all things in regards to their appearance as such, their entities as such, their powers as such, their activities as such, their primary causes as such, their environmental causes as such, their effects as such, and their quality as such despite these differences. Excerpt from the Lotus Sutra, Chapter 2, Hoben Pon. His eyes glowing with the light of Zipan gold, Tsukikage Hiromuzashi preached the Lotus Sutra unto his disciples of the covenant of stealth, Kagenin. In the stillness before form, when neither heaven nor earth had shape, Tsukiyomi-no-mikoto beheld a vision so contradictory it became a seed. Thus was born the square circle, a paradox from which all visible worlds emerge, the green stone, the square circle. Tsukitohi no Taibetsu. Chapter 0. The Great Separation of Moon and Sun. In the ancient era, when Japan was still known by its sacred name Zipang, the land was ruled under divine grace by Tsukiyomi-no-mikoto, the androgynous moon god, sovereign of purity and reflection. Beneath his serene governance, the Oborozuki clan, his chosen disciples, served as guardians of the realm. These shinobi priests and Miko warriors upheld the harmony of the five elements and watched over the people as custodians of balance. Yet darkness came not from outside, but from the rift between heaven's own. One day Amaterasu Omikami, the radiant sun goddess and wife of Tsukuyomi, sent him as her divine emissary to attend a sacred feast hosted by the harvest kami, Ukemochi. At the center of this offering was pork. Tsukuyomi, being a devout vegetarian, was horrified, not only because he abstained from meat, but because he held a deep spiritual belief that pigs in particular carried the trapped souls of children who had died unjustly. To him, the presence of pork at a holy ritual was a desecration. Enraged by what he perceived as an unclean and unforgivable act, Tsukuyomi drew his blade and slew Ukemochi on the spot. When Amaterasu heard what had occurred, she was horrified. Though she had sent him in her place, she could not condone his act. In a violent clash of gods and goddesses, the two quarrelled with such fury that the very skies trembled. Their love shattered. Amaterasu cast him out and swore to destroy him. Thus began the celestial exile. Tsukuyomi fled far from Zipan, travelling westward to the distant deserts of the Middle East, where he cloaked himself in silence and contemplation. There, reborn under a new name, he sowed the seeds of Sufism, a path of divine love and introspection. Amaterasu, now alone, took control of Zipang, yet her heart had darkened. With her came the black flame of sovereignty, and through her dominance, the land was plunged into a prolonged age of war. Harmony fell, and blood was shed in the name of solar pride. Years passed. One fateful night, Amaterasu discovered Tsukiyomi sleeping under the stars in the Middle Eastern sands. Silently, with no words exchanged, she descended and struck him down, ending the life of her once beloved without mercy. It is said that the ancient Gandhara statue of Buddha, which bears a gash across the neck, commemorates this divine murder. With her vengeance fulfilled on behalf of Obi-Ichi, Amaterasu departed, yet deep within her immortal heart stirred a shadow of sorrow. Thus the sun and moon were forever separated, never again to share the sky. This celestial tale explains why day and night no longer coexist, a myth of separation and consequence, yet death cannot silence the divine. Tsukiyomi, being both God and Buddha, passed through the veil of the afterlife and was reborn on earth. He wandered in a hidden form, learning through lifetimes the lessons of compassion, justice and humility. Though Obi-Ichi's act had been unnatural, he came to understand that his reaction, too, had transgressed the divine order. Now, having attained true enlightenment, Tsukiyomi has returned, not as a god of vengeance, but as the prophesied miracle, a sage of the final days. When the end draws near and humanity teeters on the edge of ruin, he shall arise in his fullness, and the golden age of Zipang shall begin anew. He shall reign in righteousness for 1011 years, during which divine truth shall flourish once more across the eastern lands. Then, when the time is right, he shall take leave of this world, journeying back to his celestial kingdom, accompanied by his beloved goddess wives and the chosen children of light. Dai Isho Hoen no Kigen, Chapter 1, The Origin of the Square Circle. Thus have I heard, in the eternal stillness beyond form, when all was neither born nor unborn, the great Kami Tsukiyomi-no-mikoto, Lord of the hidden moon, sat in contemplation. He beheld the tapestry of existence, that which had come into being, and that which had not yet stirred from the void. From his divine introspection emerged a mystery, the vision of the square circle, a paradox unmanifested. In that instant the matrix was formed, the weaving of form and non-form. Thus reality awakened, from contradiction, complexity, from complexity a crack in the void, and in that crack an eye opened. It was called Tzuki No Me, the eye of the moon, a mirror of wisdom gazing into itself. Thus the moon took form. Arigatou gozaimashita.